Superintendents Report. Dr. Nicholas?
Yeah, I have a brief report and some updates. The first thing I'd like to do is remind the community that our school offices are open and there are multiple people available if you should have a question or concern about the upcoming school year, which starts on August 13th. So there are staff available to you if you have a question, so please give them a call. If they don't have the answer, then they can contact the district office and we'll find the right answer for you. So we want to thank everybody as we work into this school year, but it's important to know that the answers to your questions are a phone call away. So we had a meeting with all of staff over the last couple of weeks, and very simply put, we've established two goals, a short-term goal and a long-term goal for the 2020-21 school year. The short-term goal is we're going to create as smooth start as possible. Not perfect, but as smooth start as possible. We have a lot of moving parts here, but we feel like we've got all of the things in place or plans in place that will take care of the needs to get the school year started smoothly. The long-term goal is to focus on limiting learning loss during these multiple different versions of education that we're providing this year. Limit learning loss as much as possible, and we'll be able to monitor that statistically over the course of the year. And when we're able to restart in a normal school environment, that we will start strong and get back right on task where we were when the pandemic hit earlier this year. The other important thing to note is there's a governor's order for school districts who reside in the county or counties that are under a monitoring list watch. And San Joaquin County is one of those counties. It's currently 8th in the highest rate of COVID cases in the state of California. So what it basically says is until a county gets off the watch or monitoring list, then for a 14-day period, then there will be no consideration through the public health official for in-person education. So we're sitting in that. Maggie Park is the public health official, but we wanted to just let everybody know where things are at in terms of the governor's mandate and San Joaquin County and Lambertville Unified, which is in San Joaquin County. The other thing is important is on the day that Dr. Park says it's okay for in-person, and the people who chose the hybrid models are going to be wanting their kids to come to the in-person hybrid scheduled educational program, there's going to be a small grace period for families to get organized and the school district to get organized, so we don't get an announcement on a Friday and say, okay, everybody come back to school on Monday. We're not going to do that. So the grace period will be, when we get the news, whenever that comes, there will be a grace period for everybody to kind of reset and do an organized start whenever that happens. Hold harmless is a very, very important factor in our district. I've spoken about it a number of times. At present, it is creating an additional difficult challenge as we set up for the school year. So hold harmless was a well-intended provision in the state budget. In the state budget, it said that we are going to hold harmless on enrollment districts that are declining and districts that are flat. We're a growing district. There was no provision in there to fully fund growing districts. So in the language that was written, they took care of flat and declining enrollment districts, and they did not fund fully growth districts. So what does that mean to us? Our number was frozen in February, and our enrollment at that time was 6,179 students. Our current enrollment, and this is the conservative number, is 6,426 students. That's a difference of 247 students. So what does that mean financially? That means that the amount of allotment from the state for 247 students, we're missing what would have come in of $2.1 million. In addition to that, they also are counting the CBEDS numbers for our supplemental LCFF grant money. So that has cost us an additional $200,000. So the well-intended budget to help declining and flat enrollment districts is hurting our district and growth districts like us to the tune at present of $2.3 million. So where are we at with that? There's a lawsuit that was filed by charter schools, and the charter schools that are growing are also not being funded appropriately. So they filed a lawsuit through their organizational mechanisms. There is a lobbying effort through CSBA. And again, I want to thank Trustee Balzerini for his connections as a director of that organization, on the board of directors of that organization. We're actively engaged with Susan Eggman's office. The county superintendent is lobbying. The county superintendent's business department is lobbying. And AXA and CASBO, other organizations, are lobbying to say it makes absolutely no sense not to fund the kids who exist in districts that are growing. There was an article published last week which spoke to this issue, and the title, which I did not write down, but essentially said, public schools that are growing and charter schools are being hurt by the budget language, and it needs to be changed. And then finally, there are negotiations that are occurring in Washington, D.C. over a potential state and city bailout through a stimulus program, and also additional funds to assist school districts across the nation to open. And that debate is fluctuating between $105 billion and $430 billion, depending on who's in the room talking about their plan. So all of those things are in motion. Our goal is to win the hold harmless language revision and to get funded the 247 students currently, and that number will continue to increase throughout the school year. So it's a crucial thing for us. If not, the state is essentially asking us to subsidize the education for hiring teachers and staff to by technology and curriculum, and provide the professional development for the educational leaders that are educating our students. So I'm going to have, we're going to put up a PowerPoint in terms of showing our numbers so everyone can kind of see how things landed. Okay, so our district enrollment by grade and by program, I think it's interesting. It appears we have at the K-8 level about a 60-40 split across the district for hybrid 60%, LVLA 40%. And at the high school, it's more like 80% to 20%. But we thought we would present to the board the breakdown of how it broke out through the grade levels. So as you can see, we have at the K-8 program about 2,730 students who are in the hybrid program, and about 1,914 who chose LVLA, for a total of 4,644 K-8 students in our district. At the high school, there's approximately 1,396 students who will be in the hybrid program, and 328 students who chose the online pathway program, and a total at the high school of 1,724. So when we were acknowledging Mr. Faubert there a few minutes ago, we opened the high school in 14-15 with 450 students. So that's a massive increase in student numbers over a short period of time. And then finally, in our special day class program, 52 students will be attending the hybrid program, and at the high school, 6. So our district population by enrollment is 6,426 students. And so,
Dr. Nicholas?
Say that again?
Mr. President, I'm sorry, maybe I'm the only one. Maybe it's my screen that's
No.
stuck, but I can't follow along the PowerPoint. Was I supposed to be following along the PowerPoint with you?
I did that all by memory, Mr. Clements. No, I'm joking. We're having a little glitch here, so give us a second.
All right.
Yeah, Colin, none of us saw the PowerPoint.
Stuck on the.
Which the information was great.
Is it working now?
Think so.
Can you see like a
Yeah.
tape?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, 6,426 students are enrolled in our district, which is quite a significant number. We are definitely not the small Lammersville of the past. Okay, so one important thing is earlier this summer we were guesstimating the number of K-8 students that might enroll in LVLA, and we anticipated approximately 30 teachers worth of students that would enroll. As things have turned out, we heard from our community, and with 1,914 students enrolled in LVLA, that's going to require approximately 74 teachers. So our idea to house all of our LVLA teachers at one school site, and we had identified Cordis as a possible place for that, that is not going to work. It's not going to happen. There won't be a singular LVLA hub. Instead, the teachers will be placed at their school sites across the district, and we will be able to provide LVLA and the hybrid model after the distance learning period is over by school site. Next slide. And then just by enrollment, for curiosity's sake, in terms of how it broke down by grade at school sites, you can see Altamont and Bethany here. And of the 679 students at Altamont, 454 chose the hybrid and 225 chose LVLA. At Bethany, it was out of 838 students, 531 hybrid, 309 LVLA. Cordis took a different look. It was actually flip of those. Hybrid 274, LVLA 380 out of a total student enrollment of 654. At Hanson, a similar look of hybrid at 389, LVLA at 418 out of a total student enrollment of 807. In Lammersville, 187 enrolled students, 147 in the hybrid, 40 in LVLA. At Cuesta, 784 total enrollment, 463 in the hybrid, 321 LVLA. Wickland, 472 hybrid, 221 LVLA out of a total enrollment of 693. And again, at the high school, 1396 in the hybrid, 328 online, for a high school total of 1724 enrolled high school students. So that is an update on how our district went from one common public school system to a online virtual system and a digital or distance learning hybrid model in 2 months.